Piggy has unfortunately for quite a while now been dying. There hasn't been any new content releases, any new lore or anything. Intercity still seems like a pipe dream that's not gonna come out. I haven't heard anything about Intercity in a while, and it's really sad to see. I was just looking at these stats, and I was reminiscing on the good old days back in 2020, which is almost 5 years ago now. That is so nuts to me. It is crazy. Anyway, I figured that now would be a good time to check out a video that goes over the rise and fall of Piggy by Bullet Warning. So shout out to Bullet Warning for this video. And I know Creecraft and others have reacted to it, but I haven't. I don't know. I've been living in a little cave of denial, like Piggy's still popular. Piggy hasn't fallen. Piggy's still there. But no, it's time to take a big old huff of reality and finally dive into the rise and fall of Piggy. So let's have a look.
When was the last time you played Roblox Piggy? A lot of you might still play it. Some of you might have quit when the Piggy story ended, and some of you might have quit.
By the way, props to those who still play Piggy. That is nuts. I haven't played it in a long time because there's nothing for me to do in there.
Back when the true ending of Piggy Book 1, Chapter 12 was found almost 3 years ago. So
Yeah.
what happened? How did one of the biggest games on Roblox, winning 4 awards and breaking multiple Roblox records, go from having over 500,000 concurrent players to the last chapter only getting around 70,000?
Yeah.
And could the creator, Minitoon, have done anything to stop this from happening? This is the rise and fall.
Yeah, I'm gonna be giving my thoughts on this. I have a feeling that I'm gonna disagree with the creator here because I think the reason that it fell off towards the end, I think my reasons for that are different to what other people's reasons are. So I'll tell them when we get there. But yeah,
Creator, Minitoon, have done anything to stop this from happening? This is the rise and fall of Roblox Piggy.
my beautiful
So around
Piggy.
the 20th of January in 2020, Minitoon was playing some horror games with his friends and he came across a pretty bad Escape of a Pig game, and Minitoon thought he could make one but better. The original idea was just for him to make the game to mess around with his friends and to test out the Roblox pathfinding, which is the thing the bot in Piggy uses just in case Minitoon needed it for one of his future games. And then after 5 days of development, on January 28th, Piggy was published for everyone to play. And then just 4 days
5 days of development? Dude, that is incredible. Wow.
later, with the help of Albert's video, it had 5,000 players, destroying Minitoon's previous record
Jeez.
of 400 players in one of his other games. It's
Yeah.
safe to say Piggy was an instant hit, and in Minitoon's own words,
It kind of accidentally blew up.
then 3 weeks later, Chapter 4 of the Forest came out, where we finally got some kind of story to it, and this is when Piggy really started going
That
somewhere.
exploded it.
Hello? Jay, what out, yeah? Well,
This is nothing compared to the brilliant cutscenes after Chapter 4, but keep in mind that the chapters before this had a basic fade-out effect with you escaped at the top. And the only story we really had was that the player was the police officer looking for George, and that Doggy was our ally or friend. The rest was just, oh no, it's a Piggy, let's escape. But now in the fourth chapter, we got a cliffhanger. And in this case, who was this person on the walkie-talkie and what?
Yeah, and I want to point out that Piggy like really properly blew up. What is it? A witch? It properly blew up as soon as the story was implemented. Remember that for
What
later.
happened to Doggy? This formula obviously worked because now he added something like this in every future chapter. For example, in the school, what happened to the player and are we gonna be okay? And in the hospital, why did Mr. P leave us? And then in the metro, why? Every chapter gave us a reason to keep playing. We wanted to know what would happen next. And with weekly or bi-weekly chapters, Piggy was getting bigger and bigger. And soon after the release of the 2 best chapters as well as City, Piggy had
Best
reached...
chapter? You've got to be clowning on me. Brother, you deserve to live in the carnival if you're calling that the greatest chapter. Oh, that still gives me nightmares.
City, Piggy had reached 1 billion visits. It was now and still is the fastest game to get 1 billion visits with only 79 days since it was published, even beating Doors at second place with 94.
And I'm telling you, that is what a good story does. Piggy, up until then, no other Roblox game in the world had a properly good story or interesting story. It was the first one to actually tell a story and not just be like, collect money and then buy pets and you collect more money. I swear there's an end goal, guys. Please keep playing.
The community grew bigger than ever imagined to the point that even PewDiePie played it for a solid 3 minutes.
That was amazing.
Almost every Roblox YouTuber was making videos on Piggy, and with the
Devout
story
Mango?
expanding, theory videos were some of the biggest. All the way from what the TSP is to who Clown is, and from what an ending to a chapter will be to what one note could mean. And at this point, everyone was looking forward to one thing: the ending of Piggy, Chapter 12, The Plant.
Yeah, that was so good. That was so hype.
This is it.
That was incredible.
Woo! Updated. Go, 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 go.
With the release of Chapter 12 on the 24th of May, Piggy reached an all-time high of 500,000 players, and Creecraft broke his viewer record in almost every true ending stream, and in the last one, it got up to 140,000 viewers.
Yeah.
He was
you could say, Piggy helped Creecraft there, but I like to imagine it was because he was collaborating with a certain creator. I think that creator really is what piqued his viewership, because everyone was truly there to see Tavown and, his intelligent brain before I stared at the light for 5 hours trying to work out if it was Morse
and in
code.
the last one, it got up to 140,000 viewers.
Yeah.
He was even #1 on trending. The whole community was looking for the true ending and Mewtwo's next clue, and after almost a week, it was found. And after that, we thought the Piggy story was over for good.
Can I just say, my camera is the ugliest out of everyone's. Why is my camera so ugly? It's not because of me, right?
Almost a week, it was found. And after that, we thought the Piggy
I'm too
story was
freaky
over
for the
good.
camera.
All we knew about the future of Piggy was that there would be one more game mode, which was of course build mode, and then bug fixes. Mewtwo made a tweet a day after the plan came out asking for 125,000 likes and he make a Piggy Book 2, or at the time Piggy 2, but it fell short by quite a lot.
Oh.
It didn't seem like we were getting a Piggy Book.
That's why we got this story for Piggy Book 2, because Minitoon didn't put any brain power into it. He said, no, I didn't get enough likes.
And the planned chapter looked like the end of the Piggy story.
Now, everyone knew Piggy 2 was coming out.
Any plans for Piggy Season 2?
I've been sort of thinking of ideas of how to start it and end it.
But then just a couple days after the trending was found, Anzadix uploaded a video where we learned that Mewtwo was in fact thinking about a Piggy Book 2.
Yeah,
and
that was a given.
It was confirmed with a trailer for it on the 22nd of August. Pig was coming back, but not in the same way as before.
Book 2!
So Piggy Book 2 started off strong. Creecraft was back at
Yeah.
100,000 viewers.
Everyone
and
was
Piggy
very
had
hyped.
400,000 active players, breaking Roblox's servers. It seemed like the hype we had for Piggy before was coming back. But
Yeah.
then in the very next chapter, it had dropped by half, and some of the big YouTubers like Dennis and Flamingo were slowly quitting or just didn't play Book 2 at all. Now I
Yeah.
think it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. The reason Piggy was so big in the first place.
I'm curious to hear what they say here, because I do have thoughts on this, and I can tell you now, the reason these YouTubers dropped off after that chapter is because it wasn't getting viewed as much as it was before, so they stopped making content on it because viewers guide the content for these larger channels, and even for my channel, for all of that. So the viewers were causing this. But why?
Now I think it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. The reason Piggy was so big in the first place. In spring of 2020, there was a global pandemic and everyone was stuck at home, so they watched YouTube and played Roblox. But now in September 2020, things had calmed down a bit and a lot of kids were back in school, so they didn't have as much time to play Roblox or watch YouTube. And some YouTubers just thought that they could get more views playing other games, unless they really loved playing Piggy. And despite big YouTubers quitting, bringing less new players into the game, it also made older Piggy players like me less excited, since I could no longer look forward to watching my favorite YouTuber struggle beating a chapter. And another thing that might have made players quit in the first chapters is the map and gameplay being very different. The Book 1 gameplay and maps were super simple in a good way, whilst in Book 2 there was an overwhelming amount of items you need to use to escape. For the average Roblox player, it might have been too much. Then Piggy was a part of 2 Roblox events, RE Battle Season 2 and
I
Ready
gotta
Player 2,
disagree
both
here. Since the pandemic was pretty much over, kids went back to school and content creators decided really where the issue is. Yeah, people did go back to school, but the main reason that the on Piggy, but they didn't as much for other games despite the kids going back to school, so they stopped making content on Piggy. And there was a proper reason for this, and the reason isn't because of the increased items, because in reality the items weren't really increased by like much. There wasn't much complication added, like complexion, but it was really because of a pretty lackluster start to the Book 2. I know, Leo, I know, Book 2, I know you don't like Book 2 Chapter 1, because Book 2 Chapter 1, right, everyone was waiting for the infection to come back, because when you thought of Piggy Book 1, you thought of really the horror of the infected. If you think of Piggy right now, I guarantee you, you're immediately gonna think of the infected, like the infected main thing with Piggy. And then Book 2 Chapter 1, the big return was kind of a disappointment for so many people out there because it didn't feature any infected at all. I think Minitoon shot himself in the foot by making Book 2 Chapter 1 a prequel story. And then when Book 2 Chapter 2 came out with Store, that was also a really bland one. Like, to be honest, I don't even remember what the story was for that chapter. And same with, in reality, the majority of Book 2. And this is where I believe lies the true cause of the downfall of Piggy Book 2, which is the story went downhill. The story wasn't as engaging, it wasn't as thrilling, it wasn't as interesting, and it wasn't as scary. And I'll see if he goes into it, but there's more that I want to talk about there.
And another thing that might have made players quit in the first chapters is the map and gameplay being very different. The Book 1 gameplay and maps were super
Again,
simple
I still
in
think
a
it's
good way,
fine.
whilst in Book 2 there was an overwhelming amount of items you need to use to escape. For the average Roblox player, it might have been too much.
Small
Then
brain.
Piggy was a part of 2 Roblox events, RE Battle Season 2 and Ready Player 2, both very fun events.
that was cool.
But with entirely new updates, there can be bugs and problems, and what else can you do about it except mask just like the game? It
I don't
barely
think
did
that had
anything
a
to the
problem.
like to dislike
An
ratio,
effect.
but it definitely made some new players dislike Piggy and not give it a chance again. Because if you haven't played the game before, then
I
these
did that
simple
wrong.
things for average Roblox players could have been pretty difficult.
Yeah, it
For
would have been
example, in
frustrating.
the RE Battles challenge, you had to get the most points out of 5 other potentially really good players. And also, along with the RE Battles
That's
event,
me!
Albert made a
I'm
video
a
on
good
Piggy for
player!
the last time until Chapter 12. Now comes January of 2021. We were at Chapter 4 and Piggy recently participated in 2 Roblox events. It had almost been 1 year since Piggy's release and talks about Piggy being dead had just begun.
Is Piggy actually
Is Piggy
dying?
dead?
Is Roblox Piggy
Ah!
dying?
I hate
Roblox
seeing
Piggy
myself.
dying. Very simple topic.
My old
A
self
lot of
is...
blame was on the pandemic calming down and everyone going back to school, which is fair, but there was also something else that's definitely to blame: the update schedule. In Piggy Book 1, we had bi-weekly or even weekly
That is
chapters,
true,
but now
actually.
in Book 2, it was more like monthly.
That
We
is
had some
very
new skins
true.
and quests here and there to fill empty spaces, and even a holiday chapter, but Piggy's player count mostly stayed the same. Then
I forgot
almost 3
about
months
that.
later, on March 27th, the 8th annual Bloxy winners were announced, and Piggy won 3 times.
Yeah.
First, Creator of the Year, then the Game of the Year, and then the biggest of them all, Builderman's Award of Excellence. Now we were in
Nice.
April. Piggy's player count had basically stabilized to the game it would be without everyone staying at home, and the people that simply didn't like the game had left. And in the end, it had around 50,000 players, and on updates for new chapters, it still hit
Yeah.
over 100,000.
Yeah, I gotta say, I had totally forgot about that. That was also a major factor. The lengthy time between the chapters was also very painful because with Piggy Book 1, hype just kept on building practically every week. But then with Piggy Book 2, it was like hype down, hype down, hype down. So, yeah.
Until the very last ones where it couldn't have been hit that. And even after the hidden ending was found, it only peaked at 61,000. But now
Yeah.
the main Piggy story was over for good.
Oh, Piggy, I don't want to play with you anymore. I don't want to play with you anymore. You hear that, Piggy? Huh?
We were still getting some
What?
updates, but the big ones were over, and Creekcraft was slowly making his last Piggy videos after almost 2 years. Minitoon still
Wiping
decided
his tears with the dollar bills.
to do 2 more chapters and 3 if you count the RE Battles one, but then around a month after the release of the Mansion chapter, Minitoon finally said the thing we all expected to hear sooner or later. Ahoy everyone, the next Piggy season will be the last Piggy season and last update to the main game with 2 exceptions being Bail Mode and Bug. The journey was fantastic. I have grown so very burnt out for working on this game and have been wanting to work
Yeah,
on new
that's
projects
fair.
for a long
That's
while.
very
I have
fair.
so many fresh ideas for games in my head, and unfortunately having to go back to update this game just holds me from really embracing my creativity. It's hard to
Yeah.
continue updating a game that just doesn't resonate with you, and of course for those looking for more Piggy's story isn't over yet and will continue in Piggy Inner City. However, it's a huge project and even with a sizable team will take some time to make. I'm sure if you stick around, it'll be worth it. It's been a lot of fun working on the game over the years, and I couldn't be happier to have met so many of you through it.
Yeah. Nice. I love that end string. That's incredible. Hitting one of those. But yeah, so definitely I'd say the 2 things that contributed to the fall of Piggy, one of them was the update schedule. That was definitely rough. But I think the main thing for me is the story. And it's because the story ended up going in a way such that it was humans versus humans. And it's my least favorite trope that happens in any of these horror universes. And the biggest example being The Walking Dead. I don't know if you guys have seen The Walking Dead, but The Walking Dead started off strong. And in fact, you could probably say, you can see the exact same path that they trotted with Piggy. where The Walking Dead started off strong, right? It was all about the horror and the intrigue of the zombies, and then they started, like, they ran out of things to do with zombies, so they're like, okay, let's have humans introduced as bad guys, and then it just became humans versus humans, and we have so many humans versus human stories out there that it just gets boring after a while, and that's where I think the true magic of Piggy died out, because it was scary. Scariness is really cool, and like the interesting idea that you or your friends could become infected at any moment. It was still there in book 2, but now it was more like, oh, you or your friends could be shot by Willow at any moment rather than infected, or because of Willow, it's not you versus the world, it's you versus them, which it's been trotted before. So yeah, I think that's where it kind of went downhill. I think what would have saved Piggy Book 2, and it didn't come until it was a bit too late, was bringing Tio and Mr. Stitchy and that kind of stuff in there. I still don't know what Minitoon's going to do with that. He might do more with it in Intercity. But yeah, if he does do Intercity, I'm really hoping that there's a lot more like infected, scary sort of thing happening. Exploring that side rather than like, oh, a gang wants to steal our ration supply. Yeah, but that's it. Those are my thoughts on the rise and fall of Piggy. Let me know what you want me to cover next, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.